Hi everyone, Diana Rankin here. So good to see all of you. And yes, Piper's back in the corner. It's cooler than in her bed, so she likes to go lay on the floor. Well, I have to say that I'm feeling a bit. Hello, Sheila. Says hello, Diana and furry crew members. Lily's out sleeping on the sofa, on the couch, whatever you prefer calling them. She's still with us. She's eating. We'll see how things go. She's not in any pain, but today has not been a good day. So, those of you who have cats or dogs or animals, you know what this is like. So, it's is what it is. But I want to say thank you for being with me today. You can probably tell it's been a stressful morning for a variety of reasons, not just Lily, but things are going on and it's just been stressful. So thanks for hanging in there with me. I appreciate it. What we're going to look at today, the question is, how do we know when we found the right spiritual practice for us as individuals? And I have to say that I love these questions because I learn from them. And there are things on these questions that I didn't have the answers to. So it was good for me to learn. We'll also, as you know, get an answer from one of my books, the Master's Book of Answers by Philip, My Spirit Guide. And this is just a book of wisdoms. You just opened any page and there's your wisdom for the day. And so we'll get our wisdom for the week. But let's go ahead and get started. Sheila says, "Oh, Lily, you are in my prayers, sweetheart. Thank you." You know, she's not in any pain. She hates getting in the car and hates going to the vet. And where I live, we don't have a vet to come to the house. I used to have that where I used to live. So it's kind of a matter of she would have to be in worse shape to take her to the vet, but it would be a blessing to just have her go to sleep. Um, and yet she's active in some days and other days. This is not a good day. I'm not, thank you. I need to let it go. So here we are. Let's see what Philip has to say about your question. And I thank you for your questions very much. If you have questions, you can email me. My email is here in the chat or on my website, which is just my name, dianarankin.com. All that information is below, or I did put my email on the chat today. Or you can put your questions in the comments. I ask that they be of a general nature so we can answer for our whole audience and not just of a specific nature for one person. So here we go. How do we know when we found the right spiritual practice for us as individuals? Hello, Lynn says, greetings all. Finally made it live. Sending love and light and prayers for Lily. Thank you, Lynn. And so good to see you live. Thank you. Here's what Philip has to say about your spiritual practice, if you've found the right one. There are those who choose the spiritual practice that will be best for them while they are in spirit world, that they then want to live in their human experience. Often these individuals will then be born into that culture. There is also, of course, a person may decide the spiritual practice they were born into is not correct for them. In these cases, they may choose a different practice or no practice, which is also acceptable. And of course, there are those who search for the practice that is right for them, but to no avail. And there are those who find multiple studies of multiple practices are necessary. Let us look deeper, beginning with what is a spiritual practice. I want to stop for a minute and give you a personal story here. I think some of you know my thesis for my master's degree is how the sacred is expressed across cultures and throughout history. In spiritual, in humanities is my master's degree in undergraduate work. And I was at many years ago, I was at a yoga conference, and I remember one of the teachers there saying that you shouldn't study multiples, that you need to go in depth in one. He's correct and not correct. And this will explain, because I felt I need to study this, I need to study this, I need to study this. And so that will be explained if you've had that same feeling. And I know many of the people who work with me have had. So hopefully this will answer if you feel you need to study more than one spiritual practice. And this gives us some answers here. Or if you feel you need to go in depth in one, this will give you some answers. Here we go. A spiritual practice is that which connects you with your divine self, the truth of you. I'm going to repeat that because I think that is the most important thing said in this whole conversation. A spiritual practice is that which connects you with your divine self, the truth of you. When connected to your divine self, you will find you understand the shadow and the sunlight of life. You will find you are kinder, more compassionate, more empathetic, more understanding of all. That's what a spiritual practice is for, isn't it? To find the truth of who we are. If a spiritual practice does not connect you with your divine self, then you must ask if it is the right practice for you. It may be the right practice, but you are resistant to allow yourself to let go of the human consciousness and go deeper into your spirit self. This, too, you must ask yourself. If you find you are reluctant to go into your deeper spiritual self, then no practice is right for you until you are ready to release fear. Let us say you are ready to practice your spiritual practice. You begin by looking at what you have and then an interest in. Let us say you were born into a culture with a particular practice and you are drawn to go deeper into the practice. This then is what you do, for you have found your spiritual practice. Let us say, however, you do not find the practice gives you peace. You feel drawn to something else. This then is what you must explore. You may find you are immersed for a while and you want to continue. Or you may find this practice too is not where you feel the inner peace of belonging. It is then you must ask yourself if you are resisting or being impatient, or you know you are to keep exploring. If you are resisting or impatient, stay longer with this practice. If, however, you feel you are to move elsewhere, do so. Many have had multiple life experiences in different spiritual practice, or many have had life experiences with shallow or no practice. People in both categories will have the need to explore multiple spiritual practices. Those who are to live one practice in this lifetime will be drawn to go in depth with that practice and be involved for a lifetime. There are those who will find they are not drawn to any one practice or no practice. This lifetime may simply be about the exploration, or it may be they are to find their own way to their spiritual self, along the way creating their own spiritual practice. Whew. Well, my friends, that's what Philip has to say. So as long as we are looking at that deeper self and we're finding that peace, I want to repeat that one paragraph. As long as we are doing this, a spiritual practice is that which connects you with your divine self, the truth of you. When connected to your divine self, you will find you understand the shadow and the sunlight of life. You will find you are kinder, more compassionate, more empathetic, more understanding of all. And as we get there, whatever our spiritual practice is, and for some, it may be gardening or sitting in the garden and just being quiet. For others, it may be mindfulness or meditation, and actually whatever a spiritual practice takes us into mindfulness, which is about being present in the moment and accepting the shadow of life as well as the sunlight. Sheila, thank you. Thank you. I'm deeply grateful for your donation. Deeply grateful. Thank you. I have taken off the ads so they don't interrupt while I'm speaking. Many people are coming back and contacting me and saying, the ads are okay. So I'm considering if they're at the beginning, skippable ads, and at the end, skippable ads only. But I don't want interruption in the middle. So I have to figure out if that's possible. But thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Sheila. Well, that's this message from Philip about our spiritual practices. And basically, what he's saying is as long as you're connecting with your deeper self, whatever that practice is, you can't do this wrong. You're doing it right because you're as long as you're connecting with that deeper self. So, shall we get our message for this week? Here we go. I'm hearing right, but left is coming in strongly. If you heard right, we're in sync. That's our message. If you heard left, that's a message you need to pay attention to. So here we go. Right is pain is the teacher of your growth. Have you not chosen growth? So many of my clients are, and myself, are going through some rough times right now. And it is what it is. And so we have a choice that we can let that rough time overwhelm us, and it can. And then we have to step back, and often we need to call a friend, perhaps. And thankfully, I am so grateful in my life that I have friends that I can call and say, I'm falling apart. Help me get back to put myself back together. And I have friends that will call me, and basically, we don't use those words, but it's the same thing. So we need those friends in our lives. We need those people who, when we're overwhelmed, will help us calm. So will help us understand the pain, because when we're in the pain, we may not understand it. But pain is the teacher of your growth. Have you not chosen growth? We didn't choose the pain. We sort of did, but we didn't really choose the pain. We chose, I'm ready to grow. And pain often comes with that. Sometimes pain means letting go of that which we don't want to let go of. Sometimes pain is physical or emotional or mental. So it's a teacher of our growth. And find those ways to deal with the pain. Don't do it alone. Meditation, whatever your spiritual practices will help you, but also reach out. And if I can help you, I'm here. If you heard left, love is. It asks nothing for itself. It gives everything of itself. Love is. It asks nothing for itself. It gives everything of itself. What I want to say about that is Philip is talking about spiritual love here. And I always say, love the spirit being, love that spiritual being that we all are, but have human boundaries. We have to have those boundaries in order to love ourselves more. And that's what it's all about, learning to love ourselves. And there she is. Miss Piper came over to say, hey, here I am. All right, my friends. Again, Sheila, thank you. Lynn, good to see you. Thank you all for the love that you send to us. And thank you for receiving the love we're sending out to you. That's how we heal our world, friends, with love, starting with ourselves. I want to say I did put out on Facebook, those of you who are Facebook friends, if not, just go to my blog. And I put out a little exercise, a little process that you can do with Mother Earth and Father Sky to help you love yourself more. It's one of the newer blogs. I just put it out yesterday. So if it's not the top blog, it'll be some of the top one or the 2, 3. It's down there. So just the website, click on blog, and go find this process with Mother Earth and Father Sky to love yourself a bit more. And I love you. Thank you. Until we meet again, I love you. You are loved. You are loved. You are loved.